Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready to explore something really fascinating. Today, we're going deep into quantum science.
Quantum science.
Yeah, it might sound like Star Trek, but it's already impacting our lives, especially data privacy. We'll be diving into Yorgo Schneppet's work. He really digs into this in his essay.
Sounds intriguing.
And to help us unpack it all, I've got an expert here with me. Welcome.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so quantum science. What is it, and how does it connect to privacy?
Well, it's basically studying the universe at its tiniest level. Think atoms and the particles even smaller than those. And at that level, things get weird. They don't follow our everyday rules of physics.
Schneppek talks about this, right? Like superposition. He says a quantum system can be in multiple states at once until we measure it. That's wild.
It really is one of the most mind-bending things in quantum mechanics, but it's been proven over and over again.
So how do I even imagine that?
Think of a coin spinning in the air. Before it lands, it's both heads and tails at the same time. Kind of like that.
Okay, I'm kind of getting that. But then there's entanglement. Two particles linked, so knowing one instantly tells you about the other, even miles apart.
Exactly. Imagine those coins, but linked. One lands on heads, the other flips to tails instantly, no matter how far apart.
That's crazy. So not just theory then. Schnepphat seems to say this has real-world effects, like encryption and cybersecurity. A lot of our online security relies on math that's really hard for computers to crack. What if quantum computers change that?
That's where things get interesting. Quantum computers could revolutionize a lot of things, but they also pose a real threat to how we do encryption now. A powerful enough quantum computer could crack codes we use for everything. Banking, online shopping, even government secrets. All thanks to something called Shor's algorithm.
So everything we think is secure online is actually vulnerable. Schnepphat even mentions these computers decrypting historical data, like nothing's truly private in the long run.
That's a valid concern. Imagine someone in the future with a powerful quantum computer could unlock all our sensitive info, financial records, emails, medical data, everything.
That's unsettling. Where do we go from here? Is privacy doomed?
Not necessarily. See, the same things that make quantum computers a threat can also create new, stronger encryption. That's where quantum cryptography comes in. Schnepphat highlights this in his essay, calling it the future of privacy.
So, problem A and D solution. What makes quantum cryptography different from what we use now?
Current encryption is all about complex math. Quantum cryptography uses the laws of physics, like quantum key distribution or QKD. One of the most well-known protocols within QKD is BB84.
Okay, tell me more.
So in BB84, security relies on this. Any attempt to look at the particles carrying the key information changes them. Sender and receiver know instantly if someone's eavesdropping.
Like an alarm system for our data. Someone tries to peek, the alarm goes off.
Exactly. That's what Schnepphat calls unconditional security. Not just math that could be solved, it's using the universe itself to protect our info.
Sounds unbeatable.
Yeah.
Schnepphat mentions quantum cryptography being used in some high-security places already, right?
Yeah. Governments, some financial institutions. For secure communications and transactions. There's even research into a quantum internet. Imagine global communication with incredible security. Yeah, it's exciting stuff, but it's not without challenges. Schnepphat points that out too.
This is all fascinating stuff, but let's be real for a second. Why should the average person listening care about all this quantum stuff? Like, how does it affect their privacy?
I get that. You might think this is all way in the future, something you don't need to worry about now. But the truth is, quantum tech is already here in ways we might not even realize. Like some sensors in our smartphones, they use quantum mechanics.
No way. I had no idea. Schnepphat seems to think this is just the start. He talks about quantum tech changing everything. Medicine, communication, finance, AI. What do you think? Is he being too optimistic?
I think Schneppet's got a good point. He sees the potential benefits. Imagine curing diseases we can't touch now, developing clean energy or AI that can solve our biggest problems. Quantum tech could make all that happen.
It's hard not to get excited about all that. But Schnepphat also cautions us about the downsides, right? He seems worried about things being misused.
He's right to be concerned. Like any powerful tool, quantum science can be used for good or bad. Imagine what happens if authoritarian governments get their hands on quantum computers. They could crack any encryption, access everyone's private data, or think about advanced AI powered by quantum computing used to manipulate people on a huge scale. These are things we need to think about now and try to prevent.
So it's not just about rushing into this quantum future. We have to be careful about the choices we make. Schneppet wants us to have a bigger conversation about all this, right, as a society.
Exactly. It's not just for scientists and politicians, it's for everyone. We need to learn about these ideas, ask tough questions, and demand that our leaders consider ethics when developing quantum technologies.
It's not just leaving it to the experts then. It sounds like Schneppet saying we're all responsible for shaping this quantum future.
We are, we all have a stake in this. The choices we make today will determine what our future looks like for us and for generations to come.
This has given me a lot to think about. Before we finish up, any resources you'd recommend for people who want to learn more about quantum science, quantum cryptography, all the ethical stuff?
Definitely Schneppat's essay is a great place to start. He even includes a list of further readings. Plus, there are some amazing books and websites out there that explain quantum science in simple terms.
We'll be sure to link those in the show notes.
Perfect. The more people who learn about this, the better we'll be able to deal with the challenges of the quantum age as a society.
Back again for the final part of our deep dive. We've really gone deep into quantum science and privacy. Learn about superposition, entanglement, the power of quantum computers to both crack and create unbreakable codes, and the big ethical questions we face.
A lot to process right. Like Schneppat says, we're just at the beginning.
Yeah, Schnepphat ends his essay talking about the future. Sounds exciting and a bit scary. He sees quantum tech changing everything. Medicine, communication, finance, AI. What do you think? Is he too optimistic?
I think he's got a point. He acknowledges the good stuff. Imagine curing diseases we can't touch now, new clean energy sources, AI solving the world's biggest problems. Quantum tech could do all that.
It's hard not to get caught up in the possibilities. But Schnepphat says we need to be careful, right?
Absolutely. We've got to think about the risks. What if these powerful technologies get into the wrong hands? How do we stop them from being used for bad things? How do we make sure everyone benefits? And it doesn't just make things more unequal. We got to tackle these questions now.
So, no rushing in blindly. We need to make good choices. Schnepphat wants us to talk about all this as a society.
Exactly. It's not just for scientists and politicians. It's for all of us. We need to learn about this stuff, ask the tough questions, demand our leaders think about ethics when they're developing these technologies.
So it's not just watching as this quantum future happens. We need to be involved, make sure these technologies are used to make things better, not worse.
Exactly. Will we just watch as the world changes around us? Or will we speak up, demand that these technologies are used for good?
A choice we all have to make. Like Schnepphat says, we can't afford to be ignorant. The quantum revolution is coming, ready or not. The question is, will we be part of shaping it, or will it shape us? Something to think about as we move into this exciting and unknown future.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
What a journey this deep dive into quantum science has been. We've covered so much, from the basics of quantum mechanics to the potential benefits and risks of quantum tech.
It's been great exploring all this with you.
If you want to learn more, we've got some resources linked in the show notes, a whole world of information out there.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep diving deep.
And on that note, this has been The Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious.